Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Vijay Girthuri, and in this video, I'll explain you how to provision a VPC network, subnet, firewalls, and virtual machine on Google Cloud using Terraform. So here you can see this is the structure right now we are going to follow. So the prerequisites of this video is you need to install Terraform and Google Cloud in your local machine. Okay. So after that you need to create Google Cloud IAM service account credentials and you need to provide that credentials in Terraform files to communicate with Google Cloud guys. Okay. And after creating this, we are going to create a VPC network and after that we are going to create two different subnets and after that we are going to create a firewall and after that we are going to create a compute engine. Okay, all this we are going to create using Terraform and in Google Cloud. So right now here you can see, so when I open this VPC network, here we have only two different VPCs. Okay, so right now we are going to create a VPC using Terraform and we are going to create two different subnets and we are going to create a firewall and we are going to create a compute engine using Terraform. Okay, so now I will show you compute engine. So right now we don't have any of the compute engine, sorry, that means virtual machines guys, don't confuse. So here you can see right now we don't have any of the virtual machines, so let's create this everything using Terraform. So first let's open, so let's create an empty folder here. So I will create a folder with Google-infra. So I'm giving the folder name like this. So here I will open my VS Code and I will open this desktop and Google-infra. So here you can see this is my empty folder. So when you are working with Terraform, the initial stages we need to give the provider information guys. Okay. So let's create a file provider.tf. So here when you are working with Terraform again, the extension should be with .tf. Okay. First we need to write the provider information. Directly select here enter. So you need to go to directly official documentations and here directly search for Terraform code for GCP provider. So directly search like this and here you can see directly go to official documentations of Terraform. So this is the official documentations. You can directly go to this link and directly drop down this and you can directly copy this provider information. Copy this and come to VS Code and paste in provider information. Okay, so here you can see provider we are going to use Google. So here we need to write some of the configuration steps. So let's remove this entire thing and let's come to official documentation once again and let's copy this and let's come to VS Code and let's paste it here. So here you can see project. So in Google Cloud we have projects, right? So here you can see this is the Google Cloud. So in Google Cloud we have n number of projects. So right now I have only one project, so I want to create infra in this project only. So here you need to give the project ID. So in place of my project ID you need to give your project ID under which project you want to create this infra. So I want to create my infra on my first project, so I will copy this ID and I will come to VS Code and I will paste it here. So now in which region you want to create this infra? I want to create in US Central 1. So I'm going with this. So if you want to create in some other different regions, you can change this region. So now here I will provide zone. Zone is equal to, and here I will provide US Central 1A. Okay. So I'm going to create under this zone. Now we need to provide credentials to communicate with Google Cloud. Okay. So credentials is equal to, we need to pass here our credentials guys. Okay. So now I will, so here you can see in architecture up to now that means previously I installed Terraform and Google Cloud in my local machine. Then we have written a provider files like this. So here we need to pass our Google credentials to communicate with our Google account. So here you can see we need to go to IAM and we need to create a service account credentials there. So let's directly close this. Let's cancel this and directly go to, here you can see IAM and admin and here you need to go to service account and here you can directly select your create service account. So first thing is you need to give the service account name. So here I'm providing the name like Terraform and create and continue. So here you can see grant the service account access to project. So here we need to give the access credentials. So here I'm going to give the basic, and here I'm going to give the ownership permissions. Okay, I'm going to give the full permissions and continue. And this is optional, guys. Grant user access to service accounts. So this is optional. I'm going to select here done. So here you can see IAM credentials has been created. So now we need to download this JSON file. Directly open this, and here you can see you need to select your keys, and here you need to select add keys, and here you need to select create new keys, and here I'm going to download JSON keys. So here I'm going to select JSON and create. So now one file will be downloaded to our local. So here you can see it was downloaded. So let's close this and I will show you that file. So in downloads, so here you can see this is the file. So now I will cut this and I will go to my desktop, and here GCP infra, and I will paste it here. Okay, so here you can see I moved this credentials to this VS Code path. Okay, so now I will open this. So here you can see these are all the credentials to communicate with our Google Cloud account. Okay, so here you can see type we created a service account, right? So here you can see service account, this is our project ID. So here you can see right now we created a service account. Let's go back. So here you can see service account. So this is the account we created, service account. So now we are going to create under this project ID. So same have given here. So here you can see Google Cloud will create automatically this everything, guys. Okay, okay. So here you can see this is the private key ID, and this is the private key, and this is the client email ID, and this is the client ID, and this is the authentication URL, and this is the token URL, and this is the universal domain of Google. Okay, so now let's rename this. I will rename this to keys.json and enter. Okay, so now we need to pass these credentials to this credentials path. So now /keys.json. So now using these credentials, okay, using these credentials, Terraform will communicate with our Google Cloud account. So now let's do one thing. So here you can see right now these two lines are not in the proper format. So now let's do this everything. Directly open, run add to file, and here ls. So here you can see we are inside of our path. So let's close this. The initial command is terraform init. So terraform init is nothing but it is used to initialize with our Google Cloud, guys. Okay. So let's wait. So here you can see installation successful. So now here you can see last two lines it is not in the proper format. So now here you can see Terraform FMT. It will keep our code in the proper format. So here you can see now it is in the proper format. So you need to remember this command Terraform FMT. So this is the command to keep our code in the proper format. So now if you want to check your code is valid or not, there is a command like Terraform validate. Okay, so here you can see success, the configuration is valid. Okay, now it is when we select here Terraform init, it is able to communicate with our Google Cloud. Okay, so now let's leave this. So now let's write our main configuration file. So let's create one another file which is main.tf. Okay, in this main.tf file I'm going to write my configuration file. So now let's go to Terraform official documentation again. Let's close this, open a new tab, and here Terraform code to create GCP VPC. You can directly open this, and here you can see this is the official documentation link. You can directly open this first link, and here you can see this is the source code to create uh, GCP VPC using Terraform, guys. Okay, so now let's copy this entire thing and let's come to VS Code and let's paste it here. So first I will explain you by creating manually. I will not create manually, guys. I will show you the steps only. So let's go to VPC network, and here you can see right now we have only the two different VPCs. Now let's create a VPC. So I'm not going to create manually. I'm going to show you the steps only, guys. Okay. So create VPC network. So here you can see when you are going to create a VPC, you need to give the VPC name. So here you can see, let's go with this name, or else let's change this name to, sorry, this is the project, guys. So this is the project ID. So already we have given this project details, guys. So here you can see in provider.tf file. So here you can see already we have given our project ID. So let's remove this. Let's remove this entire line. So here you can see, let's go with this name. So VPC name, let's go with VPC-network and auto creation subnets. Here true. Okay. So this is the main thing, guys, you need to observe. So okay. So here you can see, here we need to give the name of the VPC. So let's give VPC network. So this is the name we have given in Terraform. So maximum transmission unit rate 1460. Let's go with this default. So here you can see maximum transmission unit is 1460. Let's go with this default. So here you can see auto creation subnet. So now I will explain you this. So when you are going to create a VPC in Google Cloud, there is a two different options, guys. So here you can see subnet creation mode. We have custom and we have automatic. So when you create here automatic, by default Google Cloud will create 35 to 40 subnets in your VPC. Okay, you need not to create this all subnets. By default, Google Cloud will create all these subnets in your VPC only. If you select your automatic, if you select your custom, by default you need to create your own subnets under this VPC. Okay, so you can directly drop down this and you need to give the name of the subnet and you need to give the region and you need to give the IPv4 range. Okay. So now if you select your automatic, by default Google Cloud will create some of the subnets in your VPC. Okay. You need to uh, remember this. Okay. So here you can see auto create subnet mode. Here if I select here true, by default Google Cloud will create 35 to 40 subnets in my VPC. So here you can see VPC will be created with name VPC-network and 35 to 40 subnets will be created under this VPC if you select here true. If you select here false, by default you need to create your own subnets. Okay. So now let's do one thing. Let's select here true and let's see whether it will be creating uh, subnets or not. Okay. So Terraform plan. So here Terraform plan command is nothing but it will show the resource information what we are going to create. So here you can see right now we are going to create a VPC network, right? So here you can see resource we are going to create a Google Compute network and this is our tag name VPC network. So this is going to create. So here let's come to VPC networks. So here you can see with name VPC network we don't have any of the VPC. So now let's create this. Let's come to VS Code and Terraform apply. So this is the command to create infra. So here directly select yes. So now here you can see within some time a subnet will be created with name VPC network and automatically 35 to 40 subnets will be created in this VPC network. Okay guys, why? Because means we created auto subnet creation mode true. Okay, so if you select here false, by default you need to create your own subnets. So let's come here, let's refresh this. So here you can see VPC network. 39 subnets has been created, guys. Okay. So when I open this VPC network and when I open this subnets, so here you can see different types of subnets has been created. So select here overview. So here you can see our VPC name is VPC-network. So these are all the subnets. Okay. Let's come to VS Code. Still it is in the creating state. So let's wait. Let's select here VPC networks. Let's refresh this. Okay, it was created with 39 subnets. Let's see still how many subnets. Okay, here you can see creation has been completed. So if you select your auto creation subnet mode true, by default 39 subnets has been created, guys. Here you can see VPC has been created with name VPC-network and under this VPC 39 subnets has been created. So if you open this and if you go to subnets, these are all the subnets. So now let's terminate this all subnets. So that means let's destroy this VPC and let's destroy this all subnets. So there is a command again in Terraform, which is Terraform destroy hyphen auto hyphen improve. So this is the command to destroy a VPC and all the subnets in this VPC. Okay. So here you can see it is going to destroy VPC, sorry, Google Compute Network dot VPC network. it is going to destroy. So let's come here and let's refresh this. This VPC and all the subnets will be destroyed within some time. Let's refresh this, or else let's come here. So it is still in the destroying state. So we need to wait for some time. And after completing this, let's change this to false. If you change this to false, only VPC will be created, guys. Okay. So meanwhile, let's come here and let's refresh this. So here you can see subnets has been destroyed. Then now VPC will be destroyed within some time. Let's refresh this. Refresh. Let's come here. Still it is in the destroying state, our VPC network. So let's wait. Let's refresh this. So here you can see our VPC also has been deleted. So using Terraform destroy command, you can destroy your resource. So here you can see destroy complete, resource 1 destroyed. That means our VPC network. Okay, this was destroyed. So now let's clear the screen and let's select here create VPC network. So previously we select here automatic. That means we have selected here true. Okay. So now if you want to create only VPC, you need to select here custom. So let's change here to false. Okay. Directly false. So now let's select here VPC networks. So here you can see right now we don't have VPC network, right? So now let's select here Terraform plan. So this will show the configuration information which we are going to create. So here you can see right now we are going to create a Google Compute network, guys. So now Terraform apply. Let's do Terraform validate. So it will check the configuration code is valid or not. And Terraform FMT, it will keep the code in the proper format. So now Terraform apply auto approve. So this is the command to create infra. Okay. So now here you can see it is going to create a Google Compute network, which is VPC network. So here you can see 10 seconds has been completed and it is in the creating state. So let's wait. Meanwhile, let's come to Google Cloud and let's refresh this. So here you can see VPC network has been created with 0 subnets. Why? Because means we have disabled this auto creation subnet. That means we have disabled here false. So that's why it has only created only one VPC network, guys. Okay. This is the main difference. Okay. You need to remember this. So now here you can see apply complete resource created one added. That means only VPC network has been created. So here you can see only VPC network has been created. So when I open this VPC network and when I go to the subnets, so here you can see we don't have even one subnet. Okay, we changed auto creation subnet to false. So that's why subnets hasn't created. So now let's create our own subnets. So now let's directly come here and let's clear the screen. So now let's go to Terraform official documentations once again. Now here Terraform code to create GCP subnet. So here you can see this is the official documentation link. You can directly open this link and come down. And here you can see this is the script that means Terraform code to create GCP subnets. I will copy this. I'll come to VS Code. I'll paste it here. So here you can see currently we are going to create a Google compute subnetwork. Okay, guys. We up to now we created a VPC, right? Now we are going to create a subnet under this VPC. So now I will change this tag name to subnet. Okay. So now here let's give the name like test subnetwork 1 and IP range. Let's go with 10.2.0.0./24. Let's go with /24. It comes with 256 IPs, guys. And when it comes to region, we need to create under US Central 1 region. So I will leave this default and network. Under which VPC network we need to create, it was asking. So I want to create under this VPC network. So now here I will remove this. Here you need to give this name Google Compute Network dot VPC network. VPC network dot ID. Okay, you need to give at last dot ID. So it will create this subnet under this VPC network. Okay. So this is the custom VPC network, guys. Okay. So now let's remove this secondary IP address. So let's remove this, and here you can see, uh, let's do here Terraform plan. So here you can see resource one to add. That means Google Compute Subnet, subnetwork. That means we are going to create a subnetwork under this VPC, guys. Okay. So now let's do Terraform FMT and Terraform validate. Okay. Our Terraform configuration core is valid. So now here you can see I will enter into this file, and let's come here and I will open this VPC network and subnets. So here you can see right now we don't have any of the subnets in this VPC network. So okay, so here you can see we have only the 0 subnets. So when I apply this, automatically this subnet will be created. This custom subnet will be created, and this will be created under this VPC network. So here you can see network under this VPC network. We are going to create this subnet. Okay. So now Terraform apply hyphen hyphen auto hyphen approve. So now this subnet will be created under this VPC. So let's wait. Meanwhile, let's come to Google Cloud and let's refresh this. So here you can see one subnet has been created. So let's open this VPC-network and let's directly go to subnets. And here you can see test subnet 1. So here you can see name test subnet 1. We created our subnet with this name. And let's see the IP range 10.2.0.0/24. Let's come here. Here you can see 10.2.0.0/24. That means with this CIDR range we created. This CIDR range it comes 256 IPs, guys. Okay. We created a stack type IPv4 and we created region under US Central 1. So here you can see US Central 1. Under this region we created. Okay. So it was created. Now let's create one another subnet. I will copy this and I will come down and I will paste it here. So now here I'll give the name like subnet 2, and I'm going to change here tag name, guys. You need to change here tag name. So if you are keeping the same tag name, it will throw an error. Okay. Now here test subnet 2, and let's change this IP range to 10.3.0.0/24, and I'm going to create this uh, sub network under US Central 1 only, guys, and network I'm going to create under this network, under this VPC network I'm going to create. Here you can see Google Google Compute Network dot VPC network. So here you can see Google Compute Network dot VPC network dot ID. So under this VPC network, this subnet 2 will be created. So right now here you can see when I refresh this, so let's select here VPC network. Currently here you can see we have only the one subnet. So when I open this VPC and when I open this subnet, so here you can see test subnet 1. We have only the one subnet. So this is the subnet, test subnet 1. So right now we are going to create one another subnet. So now let's clear the screen and Terraform plan. Let's give the command like Terraform plan. So here you can see it is going to create one subnet. So here you can see Google Compute Subnet dot subnet 2. So here you can see it is going to create one another subnet, which is this subnet 2. So now let's clear the screen and Terraform apply hyphen hyphen auto hyphen approve. So if you selecting here hyphen hyphen auto hyphen approve means it will not ask you permission, guys. It will continue to create this resource. Okay. So here you can see it is in the creating state. So let's come here. Let's select here VPC networks and let's refresh this. So here you can see we have two subnets. Let's open this VPC network and let's select here subnet. So here you can see test subnet 2 has been created and it is created under US Central 1 and stack type is IPv4. And here you can see IPv4 range is 10.3.0.0./24. So here you can see it was completed. Apply complete resource 1 added. That means it has created this subnet. So here you can see this is the subnet. So this is how you can create VPC, subnets, and everything using Terraform. So here you can see up to now we created a VPC and we created two different subnets under this VPC. So now we are going to create a firewall. Okay. So let's come here. Let's open a new tab and let's go to Terraform official documentations. Now Terraform code to create GCP firewall. So you can directly go to this first link and let's come down. So here you can see Google Compute Firewall. So we are going to create a firewall rules, right? So that's why it was showing. So now let's copy up to here. Let's copy this and let's come to VS Code and let's paste it here and let's drop down this like this. Okay. Let's clear this screen. And here you can see right now we are going to create a resource type is Google Compute Firewall. We are going to create a firewall rule, right? So that's why here we are going to give the name like Google Compute Firewall. So let's change this tag name to firewall rules. So I'm going to change this name to firewall rules. So now we need to give the name of the firewall rule. So here I'm going to give the name like test firewall. And in which VPC network we need to create, it was asking. So I want to create that firewall under this VPC network. So we need to give the name like Google Compute Network.vpc network.id. Same like subnets. Okay. So Google Compute Network.vpc network.id. So you need to give same like this, guys. Okay. So now this firewall will be created under this VPC network. Okay. So now let's come down and let's remove this. And here you can see when we create any of the firewall rules, we need to give the ports. Okay. So first I will show you manually. Let's open this and let's open this VPC network and let's go to firewalls. So here you can see currently we don't have any of the firewall rules. So you can directly select here add firewall rule. So when you create manually, first you need to give the name of the firewall rule. After that we need to give the VPC network. Under which VPC we need to create this firewall rule. It was asking. So same here you can see first we have given the name of the firewall rule. After that I want to create under this VPC network. So same I have given like this. So here you can see network by default when you are creating custom means you need to give here manually, guys. So here you can see using Terraform, I created a VPC, right? Under this VPC, I'm going to create my firewall rule. So same here you can see Google Compute Network dot VPC network dot ID. So under this VPC network, I'm going to create that firewall rule. And now let's come down. And here you can see you need to give the ports. So to which ports you need to give access. So now I want to give the ports to 80. So let's give 80 HTTP and 8080 is Jenkins and 1000 to 2000. Let's leave like this. And one important thing is we need to give SSH, which is port 22. I'm going to give access to port 22 also, guys. Okay. So now let's remove the source tags and here let's give the source range to 0.0.0.0/0. So we need to give this in a double quotations. Okay. So error is good. Okay. So now let's come here. So here you can see right now we don't have any of the firewall rules. So let's wait. So here you can see right now we don't have any of the firewall rules. So VPC networks. So here you can see this is the VPC network. So here you can see zero firewall rules. We don't have any of the firewall rules. So now using Terraform, we are going to create a firewall rules. So now let's do one thing. Terraform FMT. It will keep our code in the proper format. So now let's see our configuration code is valid or not. So Terraform validate. So it will show the configuration code is valid or not. So here you can see success, the configuration is valid. So now Terraform plan. It will show the resource information which we are going to create right now. Okay. So here you can see plan one to add. One to add means here you can see Google Compute Firewall dot firewall rules. So it is going to create this firewall rules. Already this VPC has been created. Two different subnets has been created, right? So first it will fetch each and everything. So currently we have written this code, so it was showing only this resource. Okay, so now let's apply this. Let's clear the screen and Terraform apply hyphen hyphen auto hyphen approve. So before approving this, let's come here, and here you can see when I refresh this, we have zero firewall rules. So here you can see zero firewall rules. For better understanding, I will open this and I will go to these firewalls. So here you can see no results to display. That means we don't have any of the firewall rules. So now let's select here enter. So now automatically a firewall rule will be created under this VPC network, and automatically for this firewall rule automatically port 80 and 8080 1000 to 2000 and port 22 will be allowed. Okay. So let's wait. So here you can see when I select that, here you can see it is going to create Google Compute Firewall dot firewall rules. It is going to create a firewall rule with port. So here you can see allow port which is port 80 and 8080, sorry, and 1000 to 2000 and port 22 which is SSH. So here you can see reply complete within less than 13 seconds it has created, guys. So this is the main power of Terraform. So you can spin up and you can spin down. You can do each and everything using Terraform. So you can gain more time, guys, by using this Terraform scripts. Okay, so here you can see right now it is showing 0. So when I refresh this, here you can see one firewall rule has been created. So let's open this VPC network and let's open these firewalls. So here you can see firewall has been created. Let's drop down this. So here you can see name test firewall. So here you can see name test firewall. So we have given the ports allow like 80, 80, 80, 1000 to 2000 and port 22 which is SSH. So let's come to VS Code. Sorry, not VS Code, Google Cloud, and let's come here, and here you can see TCP which is port 22, 80, 1000 to 2000 and port 8080. It was given access to all these ports. Okay, so this is how you can create firewalls in Terraform. Last, let's create a compute engine. That means a virtual machine. So now let's open this compute net engine. So here you can see currently we don't have any of the VPC networks. Sorry, virtual machines. So right now we are going to create a virtual machine using Terraform. So let's go to official documentations again. Now Terraform code to create GCP compute engine. So here you can see you can directly go to this official documentation link and let's come down. So okay, this is the source code to create compute engine. That means virtual machine, guys. Okay, I'm going to entirely copy this and I'll come to VS Code and I'll paste it here. So for some time, let's remove this. Okay. So now here you can see. First, let's do this all manually. Then you can understand properly, guys. Okay. Let's remove this. So okay. So when you are going to create a virtual machine on Google Cloud, you can directly select here create instance. And first you need to give the name of the instance. Okay. So here you can see. Let's give the name like let's give the name like what name let's give, or else let's give the name like my instance. Let's go with this name, guys. Okay, no problem. So here machine type, so here you can see right now we have given the name like my instance and zone. We need to select zone and we need to select here machine configuration. Okay, so here let's go with E2 and here let's go with E2 medium. Okay, so now let's come here and machine type, let's go with E2 medium. E2 hyphen medium. So we are going to create this virtual machine with machine type E2 medium, and zone we are going to create under US Central 1A. Okay. So here you can see zone. I'm going to select here US Central 1A. So I'm going with this zone. No problem. So now up to here it was completed. So let's come down and here you can see boot disk. Okay. So now let's come here and let's remove this tags. Tags is optional, guys. You can give or else you may not give. That is up to your wish. I'm going to remove this tag. So now here you can see boot disk. So in boot disk, we need to select image and we need to select volumes and everything. So here you can directly select here change. And here you can see operating system. I'm going with Debian. So here you can see Debian. So same here I'm going with the image type Debian. And here you can see at last we need to give the volume size. So by default Google Cloud will give 10 GB. If you want to increase, you can increase, but you may not decrease, guys. Okay, that one you need to remember. So now let's close this and let's come here and let's directly select here enter and size. Sorry, size is equal to, I want to create this virtual machine with 15 GB, guys. So that's why I'm going to select here 15. So this is very simple, guys. Okay, so now let's remove this local SSDs and everything. I don't need this SSDs and everything for this video. And when it comes to network interfaces, so here you can see network interfaces is nothing but under which network you want to create this virtual machine, it was asking. So here you can see. So when you are going to create a virtual machine by default, up to now here you can see we created a boot disk, right? So here you can see, where is this? So here you can see this is the boot disk configuration. So now we need to write for network interfaces. So let's come here and let's come down and you need to select your advanced options, and in networking here you need to find, you can find your network interfaces. That means under which VPC, under which subnet you need to create this virtual machine, it was asking. So I want to create under this VPC network, and I want to create under this test subnet one. Okay, so now in Terraform you need to write code like network is equal to, network means here you need to write your VPC network. So I want to create under this VPC network. So I will copy this and in network I will paste it here. So here Google Compute Network dot VPC network dot ID. So now I am going to create this virtual machine under this VPC network, guys. Okay. Now here we need to write subnetwork. So subnetwork, that means subnet. Now under which subnet you need to create. So currently I have two different subnets, guys. Okay, I created two different subnets. So I want to create under this subnet one. Okay. So now I will copy this entire thing and I'll come to VS Code and here I'll paste it here. And here you can see Google Compute Subnet dot and dot subnet dot ID. So now this virtual machine will be created under this subnet. Okay. So here you can see we have given VPC and we have given subnet. So under this VPC and under this subnet, this virtual machine will be created. Okay. So now, so here you can see access config means ephemeral public IP. That means if you remove this by Google Cloud will not assign you an external IP address for your virtual machine. So I want an external IP for my virtual machine, right? So that's why I'm going to keep like this. So I'm going to remove this metadata configuration and everything. And let's give this startup script. So I have created a dedicated video on how startup script will work and everything. So if you don't know about this startup script and everything, you can watch that video in my YouTube channel. So I will remove this service account details also. So I have provided that service account details. So here you can see in provider information credentials, have given that service account credentials. So here you can see in keys.json, these are all the details for my service account. Okay, so now let's check this once again. So here you can see we are going to create a Google service account. So we don't need to create a service account. We already created that, right? So okay. So here you can see we are going to create a Google Compute instance. Okay. So here let's give the name like tag name like VM-Terraform. So here you can give the name like whatever you want. So here I'm giving the name like VM-Terraform. So virtual machine name, I'm going to give the name like my instance, and machine type here I'm going to select E2 medium, and here zone I'm going to create under US Central 1A, and boot disk I'm going to create with image, Debian image, and with size I'm going to get 15 GB. Okay, so here you can see network interfaces. That means I want to create this virtual machine under this VPC. Okay, Google Compute Network dot VPC Network dot ID. So here you can see this is the one. Google Compute Network dot VPC Network dot ID. So I want to create my virtual machine under this VPC, and I want to create my VPC virtual machine under this subnet. So here you can see Google Compute Subnet dot subnet. So here you can see Google Compute Subnetwork dot subnet dot ID. So I want to create this virtual machine under this subnet. So we are going to assign an external IP address for our virtual machine, right? So that's why this is the configuration. So if you don't want to assign external IP address for your VPC, you can directly remove this. And this is the startup script. Okay. So now let's do one thing. Let's validate this terminal and run add to file, and let's remove this. So now Terraform validate. So now it will check the configuration code is valid or not. So here you can see configuration code is valid. So here you can see it is not in the proper format. So to keep this in the proper format, Terraform FMT. So here you can see now automatically entire code has been changed. So entire code will be in the proper format. So now let's come here and let's select here compute engine once again. So here you can see we don't have any of the VPC, that means compute engines, that means virtual machines. So now let's create a virtual machine. Okay. So now Terraform plan. So it will show the configuration information what we are going to create. So it is, so here you can see plan 1 to add. So what is that means? So let's see. So here you can see it is going to create a Google Compute Instance dot VPC, VM-Terraform. That means it is going to create this virtual machine. So that's why it was showing here. So now Terraform apply hyphen hyphen auto hyphen if. So now this will create this. Okay, it was throwing an error. Okay, here we haven't given A guys, so that's the problem. So once again, Terraform apply hyphen hyphen auto hyphen approve. So now this virtual machine will be created guys. Okay, so here you can see it is going to create a Google Compute instance guys. Okay, so meanwhile let's come here and let's refresh this whether it is going to create or not. Let's see. So here you can see my instance has been created and it is in the running state. So here you can see it was created less than 21 seconds guys. Okay, here you can see apply complete resource one added. So here you can see this is the resource. Okay, so zone here you can see we created under US Central 1A. So I will show you this everything guys. So first let's open this instance, and here you can see name we have given my instance, and here you can see location we created under US Central 1A. So here you can see name we have given my instance, location zone we created under US Central 1A, that means location. So now let's see machine type whether it is created with E2 medium or not. So let's come here. So here you can see machine configuration, it is created with E2 medium. Okay, so now let's see image. So here you can see when comes to network interfaces, it is created under our custom VPC, that is VPC network, and under this subnet it is created test subnet 1. Okay, so same here you can see it is created under our custom VPC and it is created under our test subnet 1. So here you can see we have given this ID Google Compute Subnet Network dot subnet. So this name is test subnet 1. So same here you can see same it is created under VPC network and it is created under subnet 1, test subnet 1. So we have two different subnets, right? Under subnet 1 it is created. Okay, so now let's see boot disk. So here you can see we created under Debian image and we created it 15 GB. So here you can see 15 GB with Debian image. So here you can see we created with image type Debian and we created with size 15 GB guys. Okay, so everything has been created. So this is how you can create VPCs, subnets and firewalls and compute engines using Terraform in Google Cloud guys. Okay, so this is all about this video guys. So now let's do one thing. Let's destroy this entire thing. There is a command. So before destroying this, if you want to list all the resource information which you created by using Terraform, means there is a command guys. Terraform state list. So this is the command to list all the resources. So here you can see we created a Google firewall rules and we created a virtual machine, Google compute instance, and we created Google compute network and we created two different subnets, which is Google compute subnetwork, which is subnet 1, test subnet 1 and test subnet 2. Okay. So now let's destroy this entire in resources. So Terraform destroy hyphen hyphen auto hyphen improve. So now, sorry, we haven't given here a Terraform destroy hyphen hyphen auto hyphen improve. So now this will destroy our entire VPC, subnets, firewalls, and virtual machine and everything. So here you can see currently it is going to destroy our Google compute instance. That means our virtual machine. So here let's refresh this. Within some time, this virtual machine will be deleted. So here you can see this instance is being stopped. That means this virtual machine is going to terminate. So here you can see currently it is going to delete subnet 2, test subnet 2. So meanwhile, let's come to VPC network and let's refresh this. So here you can see test subnet 2 has been deleted. We have only one subnet. So let's come here. Google compute instance, it is still in the destroying state. That means our virtual machine still it is in the destroying state. So let's come to compute engine. It is still it is in the destroying state. So let's wait. So here you can see uh, our virtual machine has been destroyed and after that subnet has been destroyed and currently VPC is going to destroy. So now here you can see we don't have our virtual machine. So now let's go to VPC network and let's refresh this. So here you can see 0 subnets. So currently VPC is going to terminate. So here you can see VPC also deleted. So let's come here. So here you can see it is showing like VPC. So here you can see destroy complete. 5 resources has been destroyed guys. Okay. So when I select here Terraform state list, we don't have any of the resource. Every resource has been destroyed. So this is how you can create a VPC network, subnet, firewalls and compute engine on Google Cloud. Okay. So now let's do one thing. If you want to pass these names using variable file, so let's do that. Let's create a another file with name variable.tf. So now we are going to pass all these names to variable.tf file. Okay. So let's open this. So in variable.tf file, if you want to write variable declaration, you need to declare with name first variable and let's give the name like VPC name and here description. Description is nothing but what we are going to create. We can give this is VPC name. Okay. So now I will come down and type is string and enter and default, and in default you need to pass your value. That means I want to create my that means I want to pass this name VPC network. I will copy this. I'll come to variable file and I'll paste it here. So now I'll come here and here I will remove this entire thing and here var dot VPC name. Okay. So here you can see. So now this VPC name will fetch from variable file var.vpc name. So here you can see variable var.vpc name. So it will fetch from here, guys. Okay, from here it will take this VPC name. So okay, so same, let's like write like this. Let's come here and let's change this subnet one name also, guys. Okay, let's come here and let's copy this entire thing and let's paste it here. So let's give here subnet one name. So type, we are going to give the name like string. We are going to pass string, right? So that's why I'm going to give the string. And default, so here we need to pass our name. So here we need to give the name like test subnetwork 1. I'll copy this, I'll come to variable file and I'll paste it here. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, so now let's come here and let's remove this entire thing. Var dot, sorry, here we need to change that name. Subnet name, let's give like this. Let's come to here and where dot subnet name. And now let's change this name. So let's copy this. So let's copy this and here subnet 2, and this is subnet 2 name, and I'm going to give the name like test subnet, test subnetwork 2. So now let's come here and let's change this name. Var dot subnet name 2. So this name will take from variable file and this is the name test subnetwork 2. Okay, so now let's come here. So let's give the firewall rule name also, guys. Okay, so let's copy this entire thing and let's paste it here and here. Let's give the name like firewall, and here let's give the name like this is firewall name. So firewall name is test firewall, right? So I'm going to copy this and variable file, and I'm going to remove this and test firewall. Okay, up to here it was completed. So now here you can see, let's remove this entire thing. Where dot firewall. So this firewall name will take from this variable file, guys. So here you can see we have given where dot firewall, right? So it will come to variable dot tf file, and here you can see it will come to where dot firewall and it will take this name test firewall. Okay, so now let's come here and let's give this entire compute engine details. So I will copy this and here I'll give the name like instance name, or else let's give the name like virtual machine name. Okay, so in description also I will give the description like virtual machine name and type is string, and here we need to pass our virtual machine name. So here my virtual machine name is my instance. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so now in main.tf file I'm going to remove this and here where dot virtual machine name. So now it will go to where dot virtual machine, and here you can see it will come to variable file and where dot virtual machine, and it will take this name my instance. Okay, so now let's copy this once again and let's come down and let's paste it here. So now let's change this machine type, and here in description also let's change this to this is Sorry, this is virtual machine type, and in default we need to pass that machine type. So let's come here. Machine type is E2 medium, right? So I'm going to copy this, and in default I'm going to pass this. Okay. So now here I will remove this var dot machine type. Okay. So now let's give zone. Let's copy this. Let's paste it here, and here let's give the name like machine zone. This is my virtual machine zone, and this is virtual machine zone. And here I will pass the name like US Central 1A. Okay, I will copy this. I will come here and I'll paste it here. So it will take this name. So here I will remove this entire thing. Where dot virtual machine zone. Okay. So let's cross check this. So here you can see we have given the name like variable dot machine zone. So same, it will come to variable dot TF file and it will go to var dot machine zone and it will take this US Central 1A. Okay. So now let's copy this and let's paste it here. So now let's change this image, VM image. So this is virtual machine image, and here I'm going to pass this image ID. Sorry, and this is the image Debian package, right? I'll copy this and I will paste it here. Okay. So now var dot VM image. Okay. Let's remove this var dot VM image. So it will take this name. So finally, at last, let's give this name, image size also, guys. That means our boot disk size. Let's come here. Let's copy this. And now here, let's give like machine size. And this is virtual machine size and type is string. And here, let's directly give 15 GB. We need 15 GB. Okay. So if you want here 100 GB, you can provide 100 GB at 200 GB or 500 GB or 1000 GB. That is up to your wish. And here you can change your image type. Like right now, I'm going to create with Debian. If you want to change to Ubuntu, you can directly change that to Ubuntu everything. That is okay, guys. Okay. So now here var dot machine size we need to give that. So let's remove this var dot machine size. Okay. So machine size. Okay. This is enough, guys. So if you can give whatever you want in variable.tf file, you can declare variables from there. So first here you can see when I give here name like variable var.vpc name. So here you can see in variable.tf file I have given the variable declaration variable VPC name. So this is the details according to my VPC name. So here you can see in default I have given the name like VPC-network. So here first it will come to variable file. So here you can see var.vpc name, right? So first it will come to variable file var.tf file and it will fetch from here variable dot vpc name. So from here it will take this name. So same like that it will take that entire things, guys. Okay. So let's copy this, paste it here. Let's remove this. Okay. So now let's apply this once again. Almost nearly 1 hour has been completed, guys. So let's apply this. So first let's do Terraform plan. So here you can see it is going to create 5 resources. That means it is going to create VPC and it is going to create 2 different subnets and it is going to create a firewall and last it is going to create a compute engine. Okay. So that's why there it was showing 5 resources. So now once let's do Terraform validate. It will do the validation of our code. So here you can see success, the configuration is valid and Terraform FMT. It will keep our code in the proper format. So now Terraform apply auto approve. So before applying this, let's come here and let's see. So here you can see currently we don't have we have only the 2 different VPCs, right? So we don't have VPC network VPC. And let's open this compute engine. So here you can see we don't have compute engine. So now let's apply this. So VPC will be created, 2 subnets will be created, firewall will be created, and virtual machine will be created, guys. Okay. So let's wait. So here you can see currently VPC is going to create Google Compute Network dot VPC network. So let's come to VPC networks. Sorry, not Cloud Run. VPC network. Let's refresh this. So here you can see VPC network has been created, but currently it has 0 subnets within some time. So here you can see 2 subnets has been created and 1 firewall has been created. So let's open this. So VPC has been created and 2 subnets has been created and firewalls has been created. Let's drop down this firewall rules with port 22, 80,000 to 2000 and 8080. Okay, everything has been created. So now I think virtual machine will be in the creating state. So here you can see Google Compute Instance dot VPC Terraform. That means it is going to create a compute engine. That means virtual network. That means virtual machine. Let's refresh this. So here you can see our virtual machine, it is in running state. So let's come here. So here you can see apply complete resources file. So here you can understand how fast Terraform has been created all this. So if you are going to create this manually, it takes nearly 10 to 15 minutes, guys. So if you're doing some fast means it takes nearly 10 to 15 minutes. So if you write these types of Terraform scripts means it will create less than 1 minute, guys. Okay, so this is the power of Terraform. You can spin up infra and you can destroy the infra. You can do whatever you want. Whenever you want to create, you can use this code, guys. Okay, so this is all about this video and let's destroy this everything once again. So before destroying this, let's do Terraform state list. So here you can see here a firewall has been created, a virtual machine has been created, a VPC network has been created, and 2 different subnets has been created. Same in this architecture, like. Okay, so and let's destroy this entire thing. Terraform destroy auto approve. So this will destroy entire resource, guys. That means VPC, subnets, firewalls, compute engines, everything will be destroyed. Let's refresh this. So here you can see this instance is being stopped. So that means this instance is going to destroy. So let's wait. After destroying this, let's remove IAM service account credentials. So after completing your videos, try to destroy these resources, guys, because Google Cloud will charge some of the amount from you. So that is the reason. If you're practicing something after completing that, try to destroy each and everything. Okay. So let's wait. So let's come here and let's refresh this. Refresh, refresh. So here you can see our virtual machine has been destroyed. So now here you can see subnet is going to destroy Google compute subnetwork dot subnet. That means our subnet one. So subnet is going to terminate. So here you can see at last VPC is going to terminate. Google compute network dot VPC network. So that means our VPC network is going to terminate. So let's come here and let's go to VPC network. So here you can see 0 subnets and zero firewall rules within some time. So here you can see our VPC also terminated. So let's come here. You can see destroy complete 5 resources destroyed. So this is how you can destroy all the resources. So when I hit here Terraform state list, here we don't have any of the resources. So here you can see we have 0 resources. That means we don't have any of the resources. So this is how you can create VPCs, subnet firewalls, compute engines in Google Cloud using Terraform. At last, let's remove this service account credentials in Google Cloud, guys. Okay. So now I will come to directly Google Cloud, and here you can see I am in admin, and here you need to go to service account. And here you can see Terraform. We created this one, right? So I'm going to select this and delete and delete. So now communication will be lost to our local to this Google Cloud, guys. Okay. Why? Because means we removed the service account credentials. Okay. So and I will provide you all these scripts and everything in my Medium blog, so you can find there. Okay, guys. I will provide you my link, my Medium link. So from there you can find this all code. Okay. So and yes, that's it for today's video. And if you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. And see you in the next video. And bye.